Hey guys, just wanted to give a quick introduction to our fourth quarter unit so that this week's assignment and what we give next week actually makes sense and doesn't confuse you because you don't understand why the choices are there. We're doing the human psyche, and you'll see in this week's assignment that we've picked videos that have to do with topics that fall under this unit. We have a couple of plans in the works. This is just the first assignment, it's the only assignment you'll see because we have planned to do one assignment per week. We don't want to overwhelm you with anything. We understand that a lot of people have many things going on, and it's not our desire to overwhelm you in any way. So, usually, the assignments will, like this week's assignment, it could take you anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe an hour, depending just on what you choose. Like one of the choices is only 14 minutes, and then another choice is 33 minutes. It just goes with what you want. And then the rest of the quarter will push out more information about what exactly pass incomplete looks like for us. So as soon as I get the information on what I can tell you and I get any information, then I can give that to you, and we'll all be on the same page with it. But for right now, this is our assignment for the week. This is how we're going to start the unit, and I'm really excited about it because we've been working really hard on figuring out how to bare bone, like not bare bones, but bare bones the unit, and really getting these common writing tasks, keeping in mind that you are fourth quarter juniors, most of you are fourth quarter juniors, and what you have to do for next year. So I've kind of been grappling between those two things, and I think that we've come up with some good stuff. So looking at the human psyche, what that really means is just everything that encompasses the human mind and just how amazing it is. In this unit, we're really looking at three things: how the mind influences our emotions, two, how it influences our interactions with others, and then three, how it influences our perception of the world. And how that looks broken down into topics is going to be mental health, personality, and creativity, especially with understanding and a focus on looking at how your teenage brains are not fully developed yet, and how does that have an effect on these things that we're looking at. Then trauma in the brain. Trauma can mean a lot of things to many of us. I know it says time for some serial killers because there's a lot that we've been looking at true crime as a way to engage you guys while you're at home. You're not looking at us where we juggle in front of you and make jokes all the time. This is a great way to kind of insert a little bit of engagement because it has to do with this topic. And then the power of the mind and mindfulness, which our county is really focused on. We're really looking at growth mindset, positive mindset, how mindfulness really just like has this huge effect on the body. So that's really cool that we get to just really go through all of those topics. The four major questions that we want to focus on for this quarter that we're going to be able to answer by the end of the quarter are: what are the defining characteristics of the human mind and psyche? Two, how does our psyche influence our relationships with others? Three, what are some of the causes and effects of breakdowns in the human psyche? And then four, how does our psyche shape the way we perceive and interact with the world around us? And that's been like a huge thing with our team, is that right now what we're going through in this pandemic is so relevant to this unit. I mean, we're talking about mass hysteria, we're talking about the absolute tragedy of not having toilet paper in grocery stores. That's incredible, right? There's so much impact here. So with that in mind, we want to have some kind of unit disclaimer in understanding that these topics can be difficult to grapple with. We understand that many of us have experienced trauma. We understand that you struggle and experience mental health issues. Your family members might as well, and that's perfectly okay. And this entire unit, all of our materials are shared out with our team members. They're shared out with administrators. They're shared out with counselors. And if at any point you need to talk to somebody about something that you're learning about in this unit, just do it. Like, let us know. But I also want you to know that while there is that, like, some of these might hit too close to home, there's also, you have the choice. So like you'll see every single week, you have the choice of what topic you want to go to. So if you don't want to look at trauma in the brain, don't do it. Don't choose it. Choose mindfulness. Like, go to a more positive outlook if that's what's best for you right now. Please keep that in mind. that whatever you choose is best for you. The last thing I wanted to show you is we don't get to read an entire core text this quarter because of like access issues. But these are the core texts that we would have explored. We also would have done Incredibly Close and Incredibly Loud, I think it's called. It's somewhere around here. But these are just like 4 that like I have and that I think would still be cool that we could incorporate into this quarter. And you'll see like we'll try and put some video clips, some audio pieces in here as well for those of us who are interested. So if you are interested in learning more about how we're going to incorporate these books or what these books are about this quarter, keep listening. If you are like, Miss Davis, literally, why are you always talking about books? You can stop my video and I'll see you later. Okay, go. So, books for quarter 4. The core text, there's a lot of choices that really goes into this unit. One of them is Catch-22, which is a fantastic like literary piece. It is a satirical novel set in Italy, World War II. If you have never heard of a Catch-22, it's one of those situations where, for example, if you're applying for a job and it says that you need experience to apply for the job, but you don't have any experience and you need a job to get experience, that's a Catch-22. So it really plays on that in the time of World War II. So it's an interesting novel to read. And they've actually done a Hulu did a limited series adaptation of it, and George Clooney's in it. So you can also check that out if you want. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a little bit controversial at times. I love it. The book has like images in it too that are drawn in, and then it's set in what's like the right word for it? A mental ward, I think that's the wording that they use. So it's interesting. The movie has Danny DeVito in it. And then The Road, I have my copy of The Road here. Again, interesting read for this unit. It's America is like ravaged by fire and ash, and a father and son go to the coast, and they like don't have anything with them. They're like isolated, and there's cannibalism, and the only thing I like gripe about this book is that there's no punctuation for dialogue. Like there's no quotation marks, so you don't always know. I mean, it's 2 people, right? Father and son, so like you can guess who's talking, but it's so frustrating to me. Then the last core text, that is my favorite book, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This book is so incredible. It's the first of its kind, actually. It deconstructs the murders of 4 family members that were brutally shot to the face. It looks at the 2 murders, their trial, their execution. It just breaks down this true case, 1959, and it reconstructs it into a book, like a fictional story, so it reads just like that in it. It's so good. It's so good. Then the young adult fiction books that we wanted to bring into this quarter, we'll probably bring in maybe some passages a little bit later when we do our second writing piece. Eliza and Her Monsters is a really great contemporary read. This is actually a GHS reading club book this year, and so was All the Bright Places, which is next. And it's about this girl who draws graphic novel pages and she publishes them online. She has about like over 1 million followers, I think, and she's like super popular, but nobody knows what her username is. Like they don't know who she is. She really grapples with anxiety, and this is like art is like a really great way for her to get out her feelings and get out her frustrations and just everything. And then All the Bright Places has recently been adapted by Netflix, and I haven't seen the movie because I kind of have like a thing for books who have been adapted by, movies. But it's really great. It's more of a romance, but one of the main characters, the girl, she is trauma induced, and they don't come out and say it, but the boy, he's bipolar. And just like we kind of provide a disclaimer for the other book that we had read earlier this year, where I said the same thing, just a heads up, one of the characters does commit suicide. So just a heads up. Then another book is Turtles All the Way Down, which, if you're a John Green fan, I really liked this one. It's about a millionaire who goes missing, and the main character really struggles with OCD. And I'm trying to find like the best words to find this. Like, she just really wants to be clean, inside and out. And so, like, a couple of times, one of like the major times that she does it, she ends up swallowing a lot of hand sanitizer and she has to be hospitalized. And a chapter is written in second person point of view. So, like, you really don't get that in a lot of literature. So, it's really cool. But it's kind of like a mystery, almost a romance, and then a lot of like mental health commentary. Darius the Great is Not Okay. It's such a good book. I just recently read the sequel too that comes out in a couple months, and I love him so much. He's Persian. His dad is just like disapproves of everything that he does. He is clinically depressed. He's gay. He is being sent to Iran for the first time to find his or meet with his mom's family, and he basically finds like the boy next door in Iran, and yeah. And then We Were Liars. You can see my special copy. I will never stop talking about this book. It is so good. Oh my gosh. It's like a rich teen, but this is the book that I use for like all of our narrative pieces. The first chapter where the dad metaphorically shoots the daughter in the chest when he's divorcing the mom, and she's like bleeding out in devastation on the front lawn, and you guys think that she's actually been shot, but she hasn't. So that's this book, and you learn that I don't want to tell you anything about it because like that's like the best way to read it is going in not actually knowing what happens, but just know that this title is legit and the ending is it still makes me so mad in a good way. So those are the books that we want to use, we want to look at, we're looking at incorporating. So if you want to check them out. A couple others that I just like grabbed from my shelf just because I was thinking about it as like I'm doing this is The Lucky Ones that just came out. She's a school shooter survival character, and so is Zach, who is like alternating perspectives between May and Zach, and May's twin brother didn't make it out from the school shooting, but she was the only one to come out of the room. So she's really grappling with that, and it's really having an effect on her mind. Dancing at the Pity Party is one of my new favorite graphic novels. It's a memoir. It's in color. She talks about how her mom was diagnosed with cancer, and then it walks through her mom passing away. So it is sad. Like, if you need a good cry, I would definitely get this one. But it's also Tyler Fetter's just so funny. So it's also a funny book. Like, she does it in a really good way of dealing with grief and guilt and just so much. And then two others that I found that I've really liked that connect with this unit are What I Carry and Far from the Tree. And they're both about teens in the foster system, and it really comments on teen homelessness, which is actually a pretty big issue at our school too. And then Shout is my last recommendation. This is actually just approved for 11th grade curriculum for next year, so 11th graders will have this as an option for a core text. And for those of us who read Speak in 9th grade, this is Lori Halse Anderson's memoir that is about her surviving sexual assault, and it's written in prose, so it's a pretty quick read. And she actually has been publishing videos of herself on her YouTube account reading her books out loud. So I would definitely check those out, and if you want to find where these books are, or if you need some help finding anything else, just let me know, and I'll see you guys soon.